When you really think about it, all artists are self-taught. Aren't we all just capable of doing anything we set our minds to? Do humans set their own limitations out of fear of their own mortality? Nah, I'm freaking knocking out after 9 p.m. I'm old as Jesus freaking Christ.
Get on.
Hi guys, you probably don't know who I am, but my name is Monty or Monte, and I'm an artist and shop owner. I draw and make merch for lots of anime, video games, and cartoons. Honestly, anything that gets the little hamster in my brain going full speed on that little plastic wheel. First order of business, please check out my Etsy and Big Cartel. If you like any of my work, $1 goes to the Hatsune Miku Figure Fund. Yes, it's real. Look at this shelf for proof. My credentials, well, that's what I'm here to talk about. As you can tell by the title of this video, I am a self-taught artist, meaning that I haven't had any, or if any, kind of formal training, taken any high-level classes, or got taught by a PhD wielding instructor. If you count the one class I took in high school to get my college requirement, my artistic skill is, or was, pretty limited. When I was younger, I literally remember putting a piece of paper on my computer screen and then tracing the character on the paper through the light because I couldn't comprehend how to structure a human face. But despite my lack of skill, I still wanted to pursue my newfound passion. Juggling university and internships, I still wanted to get good at drawing characters so badly. Like, imagine being smart and good at art. Unfortunately, I'm only one of those. Besides that, this video is about the lessons I've learned from teaching myself through the beautiful World Wide Web and also the books I've collected. But mostly through the exposure from being on social media my entire life. Also acknowledging the fact that it's a prison that we cannot escape from if we ever want to become a popular artist. Hopefully we don't need it in 10 years and we just communicate telepathically. Fingers crossed. So let's get into the 6 things I've learned as a self-taught artist. Number 1, make your schedule your bitch. Yes, the curse word is mandatory. A schedule is what separates the wheat from the chaff. Think of your schedule as a chart of your limited resources. Your time and energy are limited. If you run out of time and energy by a certain period before you can even do the art, you won't progress at the rate that you want to. Being a self-taught artist, I thought, hey, I can just do things whenever I want. I have no deadlines or assignments. I'll just do it my way. Wrong. If I just lay in bed all day and watch all 4 seasons of Haikyuu again, I know I'm not gonna get anything done. So, I learned the hard way that waiting, or what I saw, procrastinating, can limit your progress. Even when having a job or school, having the time and energy is so important. So having a schedule is imperative, at least to the point where drawing can become a daily habit for you. And it doesn't even have to be drawing. The time could be used for improving your shop or social media marketing. Like, for example, reserving Friday evenings just for creating, or Sunday mornings just for learning. I know I use Tuesdays just for restocking all my products in my shop. I use the weekends as an example because I know a lot of you have a lot of real-world responsibilities where you don't have the time to create a schedule where you can draw every day. Number 2, please utilize all your references. Quote, you are not cheating, end quote. Every well-known, professional, and utterly amazing artist uses references. I don't care if you heard this a million times, that you learned to tune it out, but what if I told you that people can see the mistakes in your art more than you can? Think about it. I've had moments where I looked at art and it was somebody else's or mine, and was completely thrown off by how they drew the person's arm to bend like a freaking band triangle.
But that's just not my style.
Okay, but does that really cover the reason why you don't know how to shade skin or know how lighting works? I've used that excuse so many times that it can only be valid for so long.
Well, what's the difference between me and artists who draw cartoony or gravity-defying art? Like, there's no difference, right?
Let me say that seasoned artists who excel in their own style have mastered the fundamentals. They know the rules so they can break them. If you told me that, hey, can you draw a dog doing a cartwheel? Girl, I can't do that. It would not look as good as someone who's been drawing dogs for 10 years. So definitely use your resources. Be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, hey, am I really prepared to draw this? You know, like, do I need to gather 10 pictures of that specific angle before I do this? Do I need to remember how fingers move again? Number 3, is it for work or is it a hobby? I want to preface with the fact that chasing the bag does not make you less of an artist. Some of the most successful artists in the world are very conscious of money. If you can draw and profit off what you like, chase it. But it's important to distinguish whether your art is a hobby or for a possible profession in the future that'll get you landed with a really good studio. I see a lot of people put themselves down for not being able to master the skill that they want to be at. And while it's easy to be negative, you should be kind to yourself. Believe me, my mood can be ruined for an entire day if I don't get an arm or a leg right. I just want to throw the whole piece away and waste all my progress. But giving up is too easy. If you're doing art for recreation, then you should not compare yourself to those who've been doing it professionally for a living. If you're doing art for a living, then try to brush up on what you lack rather than self-deprecate yourself. Focus on the areas you need to improve on. Dedicate a week to learning how to draw hands, which I honestly need to do. Whether it be anatomy, compositions, or colors you focus on, become a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. Number 4, draw what makes you happy, but learn from it. I know at this point I'm giving this like intense girl boss energy that can make anybody panic. And like making someone scared is not the point of this video. But I will say everything with the utmost love and sincerity. So I implore you to draw what makes you happy. Yes, this seems like the most basic thing I have ever said, but I swear to God that it's really, really up to my art game. If you haven't noticed in the background, I'm redrawing one of my old pieces that I do every year, and the subject is one of my favorite characters of all time, Zagreus from Hades. If you don't know me personally, he is literally all I think about in my free time. He's charismatic, funny, kind, witty, deals with his trauma in a way that he doesn't lash out at others. Literally the definition of positive masculinity. Oh my god. The way I can talk about this guy for 20 minutes and how I can explain to like video game bros that he's like literally the best protagonist for a storytelling based game. Also, he has a great design overall. But that's not the point. I learned how to draw muscular bodies. I learned how to draw clothes better and how to figure out different poses just from drawing Zagreus. And that's all you need sometimes. Picking a muse and drawing it over and over again until your hand falls off. And those skills transfer over to other pieces you work on later. The art of creating shouldn't be this soul-sucking or egregious thing. You should make it fun. Do art in a way that benefits you rather than drains you. Number 5. Social media is your best friend and worst enemy. This is the part that I believe every introverted artist struggles with. I do too, even though I'm posting on my Instagram like every single day. That was just doodles of me kissing Zagreus or some of my original characters. But let's be a little real. I have had a hard time posting content that's attention worthy or making friends with others in the art community for so long. Especially if you're starting out with like no artistic background, you feel so alone and needy and annoying to others if you even try to make a name for yourself. But you aren't. Listen, I guarantee you that nobody knows you have commissions open. Nobody knows that you made a new post unless they have notifications on. But the majority of posting online is posting to strangers. So don't be afraid to scream about your commissions online. Let them know who you are. And if they aren't your loved ones, their opinions should not even hold a candle to your greatness. I believe the action of doom scrolling has really messed up my perception of myself as an artist. There's just so many talented people that seem to post so effortlessly and quickly that it can make you feel like a pile of horseshit. Comparing yourself to others feels inevitable, right? Number 6, you'll never be the best, so try to be the artist you want to be. Comparison is the thief of joy. Since there are so many artists online, one can feel that they are gasping for air in a sea of millions, trying to get recognized and at least be acknowledged. We are all grasping for a chance to make a name for ourselves, or at least get to the point where our work is the standard of the ones we look up to. And once we get it, sometimes we're just never satisfied. But the whole process is just absolutely draining. So what do? Well, do you keep trying until there's nothing left? No. Absolutely freaking not. Your being is worth more than the skills you provide. So I think the best mindset to adapt to is, you will never be the best, so be the artist you want to be. As depressing as that sounds, it's not meant to be taken at face value. I mean, if you're not getting noticed in a crowd of thousands, if not millions, doesn't it mean you're allowed to create whatever your little heart desires? Isn't it easier to accept yourself that you'll never be the next trendsetter and just focus on what makes you happy? As a self-taught artist, I've never felt more freedom or stress to draw what I want. Sure, from like time to time, I've have to follow trends or what's popular because I needed to make a profit. Paying bills and death are inevitable, but I will always know that drawing meaningful things is way more fulfilling than being number one in my field. Yes, that includes drawing myself with fictional characters or making OCs that no one will care about, but god damn it, it makes me feel amazing. But I will never lose my sense of self. Even in a crowd of millions, I'll know where I am. What's the point of this video? Well, to inform anybody who doesn't know how to think or start. This is not some in-depth guide, but just some lessons I've learned over the years. Growing up with high expectations is what really messed me up as a kid, and was the reason why I didn't pursue art in the first place. I went to school for a major that didn't inspire me. I picked up dead-end jobs. I literally tried to smile through it all so I didn't disappoint anyone I cared about. But I think I was just disappointing myself. I honestly praise the people who do everything and still make time to pursue art. So I implore them, if you're listening, to please rest, take a nap. I want to encourage anybody who feels shame, doubt, or fear to just draw. If you have the time and energy, let me say that. Start somewhere. Draw your OCs. Draw your fictional crush. Draw, doodle, make something that doesn't end up looking right. Teach yourself, and you know you'll get to where you want to be eventually. I'm still trying to as well, so let's do this together.